Hello, my crown royals. Welcome back and happy new year. This is going to be a great year. Double digits, double blessings, double goals, double down on your goals. Get it done. Like I'm about to get this makeup done while we talk. So, let's see. I'm going to do a quick look to prepare for the radio station. I don't need to do a full look, but I do need that primer. You don't see me. You don't see me. You don't see me. You see me. How is your new year going? I really feel like this is going to be a great year. So my 2021 ended well. I've been telling you guys about this list that I had, this prayer list, kind of like that I was manifesting or whatever. So on that list, I kept telling you guys there was one thing on the list that I really wanted, that was the most important. Everything went together. That was the most important to my personal life. And once I got that, I would be happy, or at least started working on it. I would be happy. So that actually came to fruition at the end of 2021. So I stepped into 2022 gliding. Okay? I hope you guys did too. I hope that whatever you're manifesting for this year, it comes to fruition. The topic for today is going to be being a blessing like you want a blessing, right? So most of our topics have to do with relationships, period. Because when we give advice about, or when we share our experiences, I won't say that any of us can actually give advice as it relates to, now my hands are slippery, as it relates to life, because life changes and everybody's situation is different. And one difference in my experience and your experience can change the method that we should use or the principles that we activate to get through whatever it is that we are going through. What I can say is it's definitely time to check your values and what you're putting out, right? There are some instances where you are attached to somebody, and so their cross is yours to bear. But even in that, there's a lesson. There's a reason why you're going through it, and there's something that you were supposed to get out of it to move you forward. I can definitely tell you, it is not anywhere on the path that I've been seeing people take. The selfishness, the backstabbing, the evil behaviors, and you know that they're evil. You know that they're not okay. And we are all guilty at some point of not doing our best in a situation. I ran this 15 low from crayon case. We are not always at our best, right? But that should be, at this point, if you are in my age group, which is like 21, at this point, you should be making better decisions. So you should not move faster than you think in the majority of your situations. The ill behavior like cockiness and being arrogant and selfish and mean and resentful and those type of things, those are things that we need to work on, because those are demons. Okay? Let's just be 100. Those are demons that you are carrying that you shouldn't be carrying, and you have a choice in that matter. So there's people walking around talking about what this person did to them, what that person did to them. And the reality is, some of it you allowed, so you got to take that L, or stop dealing with the situation. And those are the situations where you need to forgive yourself. It's not on the other person. And some situations, they just didn't work out in your favor. Either way, the way that you operate at this point, especially after what we have all just gone through, we kind of went through it together, right? So the world just taught us a very valuable lesson in that as important as you thought you were, the situation humbled everybody, right? So if you were famous, you couldn't do anything different than what everybody else could do. That should have been an eye-opening, humbling experience to make you reevaluate yourself, what you bring to the table, those behaviors and characteristics that you don't want to have anymore, as well as what you don't want to allow anymore, right? So, man, that's snatch. So, at this point, we've had time to reflect, and now we should be putting it into action, right? So if you are still not appreciating the people in your life, and for me, people will always go first, which is why I say you can't exactly give advice, because that's not everybody's order, right? But that's my order. People are really important to me. My relationships, how I value people, how I treat them, how I let them know that I love them. And the hardest time to show love is when it's challenged. It's easy to say that you love somebody and I'll be down for you until you actually have to do it. Then is the real, or there is the real challenge and the real opportunity for you to show who you are. Because there are situations that somebody will really test your whole gangster, your whole moral compass, everything you thought you stood for. They will test the entire shit out of that and have you questioning your being, because you're thinking about things that you don't think you should be thinking about. I'm telling you, this world is challenging, and it is only going to get worse if more of us don't do our part to stand out and be different. So that saying, if you can't beat them, join them, that does not apply in these situations. Because if we were to join the people that are not doing what they're supposed to do, where's that going to leave the people that are? It's going to be a lot of selfishness, a lot of being unsafe. It's just not, it's not appropriate, right? So if you've been hurt people don't hurt people. Hurt people do everything that they can so nobody else has to feel the way that they are feeling. And holding people to a fire as if you're God, that's too much. Forgiveness is for you. We talked about that before. But forgiveness is also for them. How are people supposed to grow and do better if at the first opportunity that you get, once they do humble themselves and begin to, behave the way we want them to, we throw it in their face of what they did, who they were. They don't need you to be their reminder. They know on their own what they did. I know on my own. Asia knows on her own what she has done. And I could tell you, as an example, if I am wrong in a situation, I'm the first one to apologize wholeheartedly, without anger, and do my best not to recreate whatever that I did, right? Sometimes you have to apologize for things that you don't feel you did wrong because you had a reason to do it. But my challenge is this. I'm not about to match anybody's energy, right? If somebody hurt me that I love, because let's just keep it 100, the people that can hurt you are the people that love you, right? Everything has an opposite. If I don't care about you, what you do to me is nothing, right? Unless you attack, certain things. But for the most part, the biggest hurt comes from the people that we know and love that do things, right? in those particular instances, you have to just let it go and do your best to help them understand you, right? So there have been people that have hurt me that don't know that they hurt me, because I have triggers that not everybody knows. Some things, are personal, and you don't want to tell every single thing that has happened. And it's not that you're hiding it. It's not that you're being fake. It's not any of that. It's simply that sometimes you want to let things go, and part of letting it go is talking about it with who you need to talk about it with, and then moving forward. That is healing, right? If you keep bringing up the same things, you are not going to heal from them. What I left in 2021 can stay in 2021. There are certain things that do and will still trigger me. And I have been open with the people that I need to be open with if those things bother me. And I have also accepted my role in what that looks like, right? Because you're not all the way a victim based on your response. If you hurt somebody in return, you're no better than they are. If you do it on purpose, you are no better than they are, because you're doing the very thing that you said was so immoral, so wrong. I can't believe you did this. And then you turn around and do it back. That's childish. It's calculated. It's evil. And now you have caused karma to be ready to knock on your door again, simply because you sought revenge. And God says if you do it, why does he have to do it? You already took care of it. But now you cause that karma to be ready to hit your door again, right? It doesn't make any sense. You have to, and I'm saying have to because it's real, you have to be in a position where you can let things go. If you talk about it and it doesn't occur again, let it go. It's best for you. That other person, as they should, they're sleeping every night. They're not staying up worried about what you're doing. They're not worried about what you're doing. They're not losing any sleep, and they shouldn't. Because if you forgave them and you guys talked about it, whatever the situation was, you left it in that conversation. Learn to leave things where they belong also. If it has nothing to do with you and it has to do with somebody else, learn to listen in support of and not be a part of. Some people, I wonder if they're capable of living without drama, because they get the opportunity to not be involved in certain dramas and things, and they keep finding themselves in those situations. Are you planting yourself in those situations, or are those situations truly finding you? And if they are finding you, evaluate the root of that plant and snatch it out by the root. There are some relationships we're going to have to let go of in pursuit of our happiness, our peace, our safety, and the next level that we are going to in our lives. If that occurs, it's okay to let a situation go without letting a person necessarily go, right? So you may not be able to include them in your everyday life, but for example, they're still invited to Thanksgiving, right? That's okay. Stop letting other people as well determine who you love, who you treat right, who you follow, who you support. It's a bad habit, and social media has caused a lot of these bad habits that we say are only with kids. No, they're with adults too, because there was a study done and it showed that people like something if somebody else that they see likes it, which is why that function has been taken away. There are a lot of things that really do control our brains and our behavior, and the sooner we realize it and accept it, we can address those things and correct those things. This should not be the year of correction, meaning you shouldn't still be saying, you still shouldn't be saying what you were going to do. At this point, it's time to do it. We've had enough practice. We all are smart enough. We all have the resources. We all have the power to make things better. And it's time to stop blaming people for what is going on with you, right? Even if it's your parents. At this point, we're like 82. How long are you going to blame them? How long are you going to blame them? And those same behaviors that you were complaining about, are you participating in those behaviors? I'm just wondering. Because I'm seeing that a lot. People are complaining about things and I'm looking like, dog, you just ran over this person for no reason. And you wondering why karma's at your front door for a similar situation. Karma doesn't come back the same way, or the lesson doesn't come back the same exact way. Example, if I hurt my sister, it may not be another sister that hurts me. It might be your child. It might be a parent. It might be work. It's going to be whatever will get you to see that something is not okay, right? Because the point is to have impact. It's not really for punishment, because God said he's not going to punish us anymore in that way. But it is to teach a lesson. How else will you feel it if you don't get it from the place that you'll feel it from the most, right? The faster you learn the lesson, the faster you'll move forward. I'm particularly in the season of performance, in the season of prospering, moving forward, bringing things to fruition, forgiveness. And the forgiveness includes forgiving me. I forgive me for the mistakes that I have made. I forgive me for the things that I did that I thought was helpful and it was harmful to myself or to somebody else. And here's the next step. If you are comfortable, or not if you are comfortable, challenge yourself. Reach out to the person that you may have hurt and have a conversation. There's so many means of communication now that you don't have to see somebody face to face. You know, if you're not ready for that, or you feel like that communication won't be received well by the person, you don't have to reach out by calling them. You could reach out by a text first, right? We have all these methods of communication, yet people are not communicating the way that they should. I'm not really sure how that works. I'm just not, because we go out of our way to let these celebrities know we're here. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. But we don't go out of our way with the people that we love. And everybody needs love. Everybody needs to feel love. So the same way that you need to feel it, start giving it. We've learned some very, very important lessons over these last couple of years. And what I have learned most is that my pride will not be the reason why I'm not happy. If it's something that I want, I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to do the work for it. Is it uncomfortable? It's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable because my pride sometimes won't let me do things, right? So women, we have a really bad habit of saying, I'm going to sit right here and see how this goes, right? Y'all know we do that. Like, we let somebody walk into a fire knowing if we just tell them what we want, we might actually get it, versus letting somebody make their own decision. Our brains are all over the place. So they may have every good intention and may think that they are doing enough of whatever it is that you need, but they are not. and you're watching them do all these other things and wondering when you come into play, but they may be thinking that you're just fine because you didn't communicate it to them, right? We have to do better with communicating. We have to do better with the total process of communication, right? Because it's body language, it's conversation, it's word choice, it's frequency, consistency, it's all of those things. And other thing that I want to bring into 2022 the most is communication. Communication with my business and expressing the needs that I have for my business. Communication in the space of communicating the needs that I have to the people around me and being more forthcoming with my needs, no matter how small I think they are or how silly I think they are, because I don't like bothering people. That's not for me to decide, because clearly we don't make a good decision with that. That's why people end up falling into depression and anxiety and being withdrawn and deciding to end in their whole book instead of a chapter. We have to do more at caring about people, because that is the foundation to everything. I know I've said it before, but it's so important because so many people aren't getting it. You see it when you need it, but you don't see the need when somebody else needs it. And if somebody that you love is literally reaching out, telling you that they need you, they need your time, they need your love, they need a hug, they need to be considered, they need to be loved, whatever it is that they need, if you love them, you will do it. You will. Nobody is that busy. I know we like to think we're important and we're really busy, like we don't have time for everything. But guess what? You have time for everything that's important to you. And some of us are going to mess up and miss everything that was intended for us, because our blessings are attached to the people that we love. God put people in our life so that we can be a blessing to them and they can be a blessing to us. If we continue to ignore the people that God sent to us, partnered with us, joined us in union, we are going to continue to have gaps and wonder why things are so hard. They're so hard because he gave you a piece and he gave the other person a piece. So whatever it is that you're trying to complete, it's never going to be completed. Or it's going to be completed too late. Who wants to be a millionaire at 84? I don't want to become a millionaire at 84. I want to become a millionaire in the next 5 years. Preferably 2. I want to enjoy it while I'm young. And so many people are pushing off their promise because they're being arrogant and bullheaded and stubborn and following the wrong path and the wrong people. You know that you're doing it too, because you notice that when you do things the way that you should, everything falls in line. It falls in line because it was sitting there waiting for you. Did you know that? Your blessings are waiting for you. They're right there. It's written, right? It is written. So your blessings are literally sitting right there waiting. And you can't have them because, like the kid that you put on punishment that's not listening to you, you're not listening to God. And he gives you signs that are so evident. They're in our horoscopes because that's of God. They're in the Bible. They're in your woman's intuition. They're there. And you know that they're there. But you would rather do everything else because that's what you want to do, hoping that it will give you the end result that you want. But why would it? You're not listening. So the same way you punish your kids, that's the same way you're being punished. Or that's the same way you are being guided, I would say. Because if you keep doing things wrong and going in the wrong direction, eventually, because you keep hitting that wall, you'll turn around, right? Well, some people turn around. The sad thing is some people will never turn around. They won't, and they'll lose everything. And God will create a path for the other person that you're impacting, and their path will be opened up. And you'll wonder why. It's because you didn't listen. Just like your kid. Just like you love your kid. Just like you forgive your kid. You love your kid through all of their mistakes and all of their wrongs, right? That's the same thing you're supposed to do for the other people that you love, because nobody is perfect. It's the same thing you want. Treat people as fragile as a child. You want to know why? And I don't mean let them get away with everything or nothing like that. I mean treat them as fragile as a child, in that when you think about that young place in them, that unique place in them, that hurt place in them, that is how I'm able to forgive people so easily, because I know what some people have been through, and I commend them for making it. I commend them for being strong. I do. Because if we don't cheer each other on, it's a lot easier to fall. I don't want anybody that I love to fall simply because my forgiveness, that really doesn't matter, but they need to hear it, isn't given. And I don't treat them right. Not while I'm saying I love you. If I love you, I have to treat you right. I have to. If I don't, I literally feel sick if I don't treat people right. Even when they do something to me and I'm like, nope, I'm not talking to them, I'm not doing this, I don't feel right, because I know that there's a need. Or they don't know that I'm closely watching, because if anything happens, I'm going to be right there. My pride has never been above stepping back in to help somebody and then talking about a situation. Because remember, I'm new at this. I don't have the magic answer. I don't have the magic key. I'm human. We're all human. But when you catch your mistake, fix your mistake. If somebody around you that loves you is trying to point out something that you can fix, you love them when they're telling you everything that you're doing right. So why aren't you listening when they're telling you the things that you have an opportunity to grow from and fix from and thrive from, right? This year I'm going to trust that God has the right people in my path. I am going to trust what they have to offer our relationship. I am going to trust that the purposes and promises that God put in front of me are for me, and that I should not be afraid to step outside of my comfort zone, be it in my career, in my relationships, in my personal life, in my marital life. I'm going to step out in every space that I love, because I'm doing it for me, because that's my purpose. My purpose is to love and find joy in everything around me. And in order for that to happen, there are some things that I'm going to have to humble myself, stop and think about, and do my best to move forward. So that is it from me. What are we going to toast to? It's water. We are going to toast to leaving our egos, the overly needed strength that we've had to have, our triggers, leave the excuses for them in the past and move forward with the solutions for them and put them into action, and be okay with not feeling comfortable when we do it, because we know that that's of the devil, and the devil is definitely attacking families and love and all of those things that we need from the kid place in us, the human place in us, that can't be replaced. They're not going anywhere. So we need to learn how to nurture them and love them and control them. So toast to 2022, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Crown Royals. Peace out.